Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hands Across the Water. We are back again, Baz, another Monday night. This is a bit of a different one, though. Our first ever pre-match show. It's the first time there's Rangers have actually played on the Monday night while we've been doing these, Baz. So it'll be interesting, a wee bit different. We'll talk about a few things today. I like to who would maybe want on for tonight's match, and we'll chat about a bit of news about Rothwell and stuff. I think Sheffield United's interested in him and a few other championship clubs. So quite a lot to chat about. Massive week for Rangers. I don't know about you, Baz. I think this is make or break the season time. You know, you've got a game against Hibs here and an away game at the weekend against Hearts. And if you win both of them, you're definitely in with a shout. You're still in the mix. If you lose either of them, then in my opinion, we're goosed, as I said on our page earlier on the Facebook page. But we'll see how we get on. What's your thoughts anyway, Baz? How's your week been before we get started, buddy? You all good?
Yeah, it's all good. All the build up to the big man coming on Christmas Day, so a lot to do with sorting the kids out, etc. Which is never an easy task, especially when you get list after list of what they're looking. And hopefully the big man can provide that on the special day, But sure. But apart from that, it's back to the Rangers tonight, and looking forward to the match tonight. I think it's a good game. It's going to be a tough game, but the week's been okay, and hopefully tonight makes it even more special when we get the 3 points.
What about your Sunday then? How was your Sunday? I started off watching the Tenweir Derby, watched a bit of darts in between, was watching a bit of darts last night as well, and I stuck on a cup final. It was a cup final on the television. I stuck it on to see how things would go, and was watching our own Ulster man lift the trophy, Stephen Robinson. Congratulations to you, sir. Good Ulster man from here. So that was a good viewing, a good Sunday all in. I would say our viewers are probably the same. What about yourself? Did you have a good Sunday, Baz?
I think it was all right, wasn't it? It turned out okay. Stephen Robinson, obviously, is a Lisburn man, and regardless of who St Mirren were playing yesterday, we would be back on our fellow Lisburn guy to deliver the trophy. Except, of course, if it was playing Rangers, then Stephen becomes the arch enemy, as we would say. But no, well done to Stephen and Conor McManaman, who was also playing in the Irish League and is playing over in Scotland now. He got a goal. So all in all, good wee day, and fair play to the boys from over here. We do tend to lift trophies in various sports quite regularly, coming from a small country called Northern Ireland. But well done to the boys, and may they progress and have a good season ahead of them again.
Exactly. Apart from when they're playing us, of course. Peter Jones said, "Did you see Cammy at the Worlds going mad?" Yeah, I've seen that. I was at work, and I was interested in conversation. He's a good Rangers man, and seen him losing the plot. He must have a few. I don't want to say too much, because obviously he's got maybe a few issues going on. I think he's breakups and stuff. So it's sad to see, Baz, isn't it? Someone, just all the frustrations. I think he straight away apologized and stuff, and I'm sure he's wishing he hadn't, but I think he actually had to go to hospital and get a bit of treatment and stuff. But the old red mist, you just don't know what's going on in people's heads.
Unfortunately, nobody wants to go out in the first round. You prepare all year for this massive tournament, and you get put out in the first round. It's a hard one to take, and he probably would have expected to win that particular match, but he's come up a bit short. And I suppose for him, his Christmas has been absolutely slapped him in the face before it's even started. Most players try to get up at least till the Christmas period to enjoy their darts, and unfortunately Cameron's away home. Unfortunate, but trebles for show and doubles for dough, and unfortunately Cameron didn't make it. But it is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
This is it, and we've got, but with for Northern Ireland perspective, we've got likes of Josh Rock and Darrell Guiney and stuff. So there's a wee bit. I think they're all playing on Friday. So a few Ulster Birds playing on Friday as well. So we'll see how it goes for them.
Nigel Mansell, Mansell, isn't it? What do you call him? Is it Mansell?
Mansell. Yeah, Mansell as well. He's from the from Dungannon. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the darts. But everyone loves a bit of Christmas darts. It wouldn't be Christmas without it. And there's CJ as well using the wee Ulster emojis. I love that. Love to see it, mate. Love to see it. Thank you for joining us, buddy. Um, yeah, so we'll start off, Baz, before we get into the game and stuff. News on Rothwell. This was a player that obviously you had watched at Leeds, and anyone that did watch him at Leeds and Southampton in the Championship thought he was a very good player. Anything I've seen from him looked very good. It was a wee tiny, but now when it comes for the Rangers perspective, he didn't perform for us at all. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's the different the league or was he not fully fit. I don't know, but he looked like even after 60 minutes, he was knackered in a lot of those games, wasn't he? But the Scottish game, it is a whole different ball game, quite literally, and he just couldn't keep up the pace, it didn't seem, mate. So it's sad that it hasn't worked out for him, but if we can get something back for him and maybe get him replacement in January, I think it's definitely worth looking at.
Well, like Joe Rothwell will be on big wages, so the fact that Rangers can get him out the door will free up a lot of money and for wages for a start. He was bought for a very small fee. I think it's William. I think it was even something down to like 300,000 or something. It was a very very small fee. So anything we get back on him will be put back into the team again very quickly. I have to hold my hands up at Joe Rothwell. I watched Joe Rothwell last season, and he was absolutely superb playing for Leeds. And I don't think it's to do with the quality in terms of the league that he's came to, because the Scottish league isn't all about technical quality. It's all about aggression and about whether you can put your it's a lot of meat to the bone in Scottish football. You have to be ready for hard tests and hard pressing. And I actually at the start of the season, and I shouldn't really admit this, but I did tip Joe Rothwell probably for player of the season, and he looks like he's going to be the first out the door. so that for me that has backfired dramatically. But it's like everything, William. Lots of players come to Rangers over the years. Lots of big names. Lots of players who just haven't, for some reason or another, made the grade at Rangers. With Joe Rothwell, is it fitness? Is it the pressure? Is it that he doesn't like being in Scotland mentally? Has he made the wrong move with his family? There could be lots of issues with Joe Rothwell, but I think every Rangers fan would all agree that it hasn't worked out, and if Rangers can shift him on here in January, then it's probably best for all parties, and he gets my best wishes when he does move on, because there is a player there, but it's just not going to be for us. And I have no doubt if he goes to Sheffield United, who look like the favourites at this moment in time, I have no doubt Joe Rothwell, if he can get his fitness up, will be very good in the Championship again. Maybe that's the league that suits him best. I don't know. But unfortunately for us, it hasn't worked out, and we can only wish Joe all the best if he does move on in January.
Yeah, no, 100%. Rothwell's the only player who always looks sunburnt in Scotland. Oh, so true, man. He was just, and I was excited, because and then do you remember when there was one of the games, I can't remember, was it one of the games that Ibrox he came on and he done this mad run, and I was like, holy, he's actually doing something here, Baz. And then the next one he pulled up with a knee, and I was like, oh, fuck. That's just typical, isn't it? He was already for like a good 10, 15 minutes. He was starting to get it, and I was like, that maybe we're saying the Joe Rothwell here that we thought we were getting in the first place, and then that knee, the wee niggle, and that was the end. But he just didn't look fit, which is so strange, Baz, because that Leeds team that he was playing for is all action. I know you watched him as well, but anytime I'd watch him, it was all action all the time, just 100 mile an hour, and you thought that would suit him perfectly. But in the Scottish league, it just didn't translate.
Yeah, but when Joe played for Leeds, Joe never really played more than 65 minutes for Leeds. He was always taken off. So I think there's an issue with fitness at 90 minutes. I think that was always there. But in Scotland, he didn't look like he could even do 20 minutes. And that was a serious problem for me. I mean, I'm sure the fitness team and the Rangers coaching staff, they're not going to put a player on the pitch that's not fit. But he just doesn't seem to be fit enough to play in the Scottish League, and it's a baffling one. Like I think back, William, till Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey came from Juventus. I've said this before in the podcast. A world star at times, and didn't make the grade at Rangers. A couple of okay games, but never really made the grade either. And sometimes they just don't work. Some players just do not work out for whatever reason or another, and it's getting the replacement. It's getting somebody who can replace him. I don't won't be too hard to replace him in terms of we're not losing much with him because he hasn't contributed much. To be fair, but I suppose any player that's added into the team now can hopefully be an upgrade on Joe, and but we'll see what happens. But it still remains to be seen that he's not away yet. It's rumors and I know Rangers have give the go ahead that he can go, but we've seen before that sometimes these players don't actually get the move, maybe demanding too much wages, etc., or something. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I would say Rangers will be trying to offload Joe very early in the window, so they can get a replacement in ASAP.
Yeah. What about? I'm just going to throw one out there, Baz. I watched them again yesterday. Very impressive again for me. Someone who's leading from the front. Can play and defend anywhere along. Well, especially the middle of defense. Has played a few positions along the back. Can play in midfield as well. Gogic, and listen, people will look and say that it's a bit of snobbery there towards the Scottish. Now I know he's not a Scottish player, but he's a Scottish league player. Now you can get a bit of snobbery there for not taking these players on, but I think the likes of him would definitely be an improvement. I know we're not going to get everyone we want in January. That's the way it works. You can't go out and spend big money all the time because number one, financial fair play. Number two, you're paying over the odds in January because not a lot of teams need to sell. But the likes of Gogic, you're getting, in my opinion, we get him for a decent sum and someone straight away who upgrades the team and puts a bit of battle in there. But obviously you need quality around him. I know all that. But listen, it's worth a shot. I don't know what anyone in the comments feel as well. If you've got any ideas on Gogic or what you think, far away. But I watched him yesterday and he dominated that game. He dragged that team over the line. He was impressive.
It's not the first time we've went to another Scottish League team and took players that Rangers fans maybe didn't deem to be a marquee signing. We can look back at players like Alec Cleland or Marvin Andrews. Even when Davy Weir came into the setup with Rangers, everybody thought he was too old and he was never going to cut it up in Scotland. So we've done this type of thing before where we've brought players in that suits the team and suits what we need at this moment in time, especially the way the league's going at the minute, because we are in the title race. We're slightly behind, but if results favourably go our way over the next few weeks, we can be straight back in there. And players like Gogic would be players that would certainly give that steel at the back, give that, we'll say William that Gogic isn't Scottish, but he's as much a Scottish player in terms of how he adapts to Scottish football and how he plays in that league. How well he can do, and the only issue would be is St Mirren do hold all the cards. I mean, they've just won a cup final. He's one of their better star players, and it'll be a wee bit of a fight to try and. Hello, Cleo. That's maybe my niece. I'll have to say hello to her and Kai. If I don't say hello to them, they'll beat me up or something when I get home. But but back to Gogic. Yeah, I would be okay with that. Whether Gogic thinks it's the right move for him at his stage of his career, and
he'd run there.
He may run. Yeah, he may run there, but he still has to think of will he be a first team player next season and stuff. So there's a lot of wee things to sort out there. And the other thing is too, when it's a January window. And St Mirren aren't just going to hand Gogic over to us. They're not just going to give him to us for nothing. So you may have to pay slightly over the odds for Gogic to actually get him to Ibrox. In terms of when you're saying to me, would it be somebody we should look at this moment in time? Then 100%, because the centre halves we have at the minute are pretty crap, and they don't seem to adjust and play well in Scotland whatsoever. So he would certainly be an upgrade for me.
Yeah, there's Ibrox in 1960s. He said we need those plumbers, the guys that do the hard work, give a talent players room to maneuver. But we've done, and I agree with that. We've done that our whole history. Do you know what I mean? We've done that under Walter. We've done that under Soon. You know what I mean? You always had your workhorses in and around with a team or squad that allowed the likes of the Loudrips and the Gazas to do their stuff. Do you know what I mean? And you know, just thinking of like Billy Dodds back in the day, like I said, Neil McCann I thought was a cracking player. You know, I'm just talking about Scottish talent we brought before, from the other leagues. You know, and with like say Nacho Novo, who came from Dundee. You know, there's been a few, but it's been something that we've really shied away from, isn't it, Buzz? Recently, you know, and I'm thinking, if it was good enough then, why is it not good enough now? You know, especially when we've tried everything else. Do you know what I mean? And it maybe be worth giving a few of these guys that are doing well in the actual division a bit of a chance.
Well, there's a post there from the Sniper, and the Sniper got that bang on totally correct. Barry Ferguson says that if he had got the job, one of his first signings would have been Gogic, Shanklin. You know, there was Mulligan
for free. For free, Baz Shanklin for free, and we went spend $8 million on that.
Exactly, because Barry Ferguson understands the bread and butter of Rangers Football Club is winning the SPFL title. That's what we want to win every year. You know, that is what we want to win. And he knows that certain players like that are what is required to win titles. Walter Smith's done it. Graham Souness done it. Dick Advocat done it. Alex McLeish done it. These Gerard done it. Saying certain players that you need to play in Scotland. They are good Scottish, understand the league, and give you that edge when you're playing the other Scottish league teams. And I think Danny Rowe, hopefully, will understand that. And I think Danny Rowe will get that. And I'm hoping the people around him, especially the guys at Ibrox, maybe the likes of John Brown or Mark Hitley and these sort of people, maybe whispering in his ear, like, Danny, yes, it's great to get these other players in. And Rangers fans love to see great players, but they also love to see the hard steel players that play in Scotland, and you can jail the two together, because that's when Rangers have always been at their best, William. Always been at their best. Even when with the Loudrips and the Gascoignes, we had the Stephen Wrights and all these type of players that complemented them. You know, Big Patridge. Remember we were saying Big Patridge? Everybody was thinking, but who the hell's this? Great big player, done the job, wasn't skillful, but he done exactly what you needed to do. You know, so it's getting the right jail, because if you look at Giga, that has horribly backfired. He's been awful. Cornelius has come in, got injured, unfortunately. Big John Suter, he should be what we need at the back, but isn't playing too well. We've got Fernandez coming from League One, up and down like a yo-yo. Gogic gives you at least, William, a 7 out of 10 every week. You might not get 8 and 9s, but you'll always get a solid 7. You know,
you always get someone who'll give us all the whole game. You know, I mean, that's what we're missing. You know, I was just thinking, just wee small things like I just think we're too nice a team, Baz, all around the park. You know, we're always the team that's over looking at someone to, oh, you hurt there, you know, the opposition player here, I'll give you a wee hand up, or do you know what I mean? It's just, or we'll wait until other teams set up defenses and stuff. You know, whatever. There's no cutthroat there at Rangers. You know what I mean? That'll just get in their faces, which we always had. You know, our greatest teams. I watched the Rangers review this morning. One of the guys was saying those boys, you know, won titles before, would have tackled their grannies to get 3 points. And I was sitting going, that's true though. You know, like Bomber Brown, for a start, he'd have chopped anyone. It wouldn't matter who the hell it was. You know, and we're missing that. You know, and it would be good to get that back. A few of the guys that just know what it's all about.
Bomber would have sent his granny into Rosette if it was the main to win a title. You know, that's the way Bomber was. Rangers first, wear that shirt, blood, thuds, and thunder. You know, give it hell for leather. I was just actually thinking there about a minute ago when Graham Souness came up. When Graham Souness had Chris Woods, Terry Butcher, these England internationals, he brought in Terry Hurlock. Why? Terry Hurlock wasn't the best player in the world, but he was a mob man on the pitch, absolute psycho. But you know what I'm getting at? The blend. It's about the blend, especially in Scotland. You have to, you can't just get 11 superstars to play in Scottish football. You need 6, 7 really top players, maybe 8, and 3 players who just give you that Gogic type of role, or the Alex Cleland type of role, even the Christian Daly. There was a message about Christian Daly. He was up. These players are not world beaters, but they just give that blend that works in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And the most successful managers in our history have used that to great effect. They have made that happen.
I'm telling you now, and I'm being honest. I said this from the very beginning. If Walter was still here and in charge of this team in this era, Schenken would have been at Rangers a long time ago. No doubt about it. He'd have just looked. He went, Scotty's talent, bangs goals, bring him in. He's been doing it in the lower leagues. We are crazy goals he was getting for them. I think he was Dundee United scoring goals and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But seriously, Walter would have just looked at the likes of him and goes, in my team. See the likes of young Ferguson, who was player in the Serie A, player of their Serie A 11, of the year. And their likes of him would have been at Rangers, definitely in that midfield. Do you know what I mean? And it's sad just that we've let so many disappear on us. If you want Schenken now, you're paying big money. If you'll never get Ferguson again. But I guarantee you, if Walter was here, those two boys would be in our team right now, winning titles at Rangers. That's my opinion. I don't know if the comments disagree or.
It's 100% correct. But Walter Smith understood what it meant to win. He had the right remedy, he had the right cocktail around him that he made Rangers successful twice. Once with a pot of money, and the second time with not so much money, and was able to do it the same way because he understood what it took and what it meant to win league titles. Lawrence Shankland is now gone. That boat has completely sailed. We should have brought Lawrence Shankland in. We did not. Lawrence Shankland was basically sitting there waiting for the nod to say, you coming? And he would have been at Ibrox. What are we going to do? We're going to spend 8 million on a striker. Minimum 8 million on a head case that hasn't scored a goal in 2 years. Unbelievably shocking. There's the difference. Hearts kept him. They're top of the league. We get a guy who can't score for 2 years, and we're sitting, hopefully, going to be third. It's nuts. Yeah. It's absolutely nuts. Even Danilo's not in the same level as Shankland.
No,
Miovski, I would argue is Miovski on form. I would argue is because he's played in Scotland and he's going to score goals in Scotland. But if you look at Danilo, as much as I love Danilo, and you look at Chermiti, and the money we have spent on them two alone, and what we could have got Shankland for was basically zero. It's criminal, absolutely criminal.
Yeah, it is. There's Richard Taylor. He's away on his hollybobs tomorrow. Fair play, mate. I hope you enjoy yourself. Have fun. We'll be sitting here in the freezing cold Ulster as always. But I hope you have a good time, mate.
Where's Porto del Carmen? Where is it?
Well, I'm sure he'll say.
Cheers, where is that, Richard?
Another thing, anyone that's watching, guys, if you want, you can become a member for as little as 99p. We're basically run the competition. Baz has got one of the hoodies on there. I've got one of the t-shirts on, and we're going to let someone pick whatever t-shirt they want, basically. And we're going to hopefully, I think maybe we could do that draw even first Monday in the new year, Baz, when we're back. We'll let everyone have the month to get signed up, and as I say, you'll go straight into the draw, and then you can pick whatever t-shirt you want, whatever size, color, blah blah blah. But if you want, you can do that, guys. You can join in. Lanzarote, Baz.
That's where Big Scott's living, isn't it? Isn't Big Scott Nesbitt in Lanzarote?
You could get maybe watch a match with him.
He's going to play five-a-side. There's with his wee football team. He says he does wee soccer schools, doesn't he? Richard, if you get round, see Scott Nesbitt.
Yep, 100%. And we had Scotty on the show. He was absolutely fantastic. He was really good. Just such a down-to-earth guy, which was really good. And as his wee book and stuff's out now, so it's a great read if any of you want to do that. So we'll move on to this. Today is the big one, Baz. Rangers v Hibs. What is your thoughts? What are you thinking in the comments as well, guys and gals? Let us know if you are a bit nervous for this one or confident. What are your thoughts, Baz? It's as I say, it's two big massive games coming up with Hibs here and then at Ibrox, and then we're away to Hearts. It's gonna be tough. But if you get 6 points just before Christmas, the Bears will be coming out thinking we've got a real chance here, But if you stumble tonight or stumble on Sunday, it's it's going to be a lot hard. But that's just a few of the comments there. Just win, no matter what, by hook or by crook. But we've played Hibs in the League Cup at Ibrox this year, Baz, and a good result against them. We beat them away from home, hung on there in there at Easter Road. So we've done okay against them, but we need 3 points tonight.
Well, the Hearts game means nothing unless we win tonight. We have to get the 3 points tonight, or the Hearts game, becomes an absolute nightmare for us, because we need to go into that game winning. And tonight, I've seen some of the comments in, just win. Yeah, just win tonight. Especially after what happened on Thursday night and how poor we were in the second half in the European game. Tonight is all about winning. It's about getting the 3 points. Do I want to have to watch 90 minutes of us scraping a 1-0 draw, a 1-0 win? Not really. I'd love to see us going out there winning maybe 2-3-0. Of course, I would love to see that. But come 90 minutes, and if the referee blows a whistle and it's a 1-0 dogged 3 points, well, that's good. That's what we need going into the Hearts game. And what I would say is it'd be nice to get a wee bit of form tonight going into the Hearts game, because Hearts are playing really good football at the minute. They're playing really, really well. And I think for us to go to Tynecastle and beat them, we're going to have to be playing a slightly better than what we have been in terms to beat them. But yeah, I feel confident tonight. I think obviously the team sheet will be out very shortly. That will be very interesting, William, to see who's starting. I expect Sterling to start. Jig is away today on the AFCON. I think he's away today, so there could be Sterling coming in. Mickey Moore must start the match for me tonight. I think he must start the game. I don't think him being on the bench is going to be any use to us tonight. I think he must start the game. Depending on where he puts people in the midfield. The team sheet, William, will give you a wee indication of maybe how we're set up and how we're maybe going to take the game on tonight. Is Miowski going to be able to play tonight? Is Trimity going to start? So there's a lot of ifs and buts there. But yeah, just win. That's the main thing tonight.
Yeah, it's a pity for the Miowski one, because it's just our luck, and look, because we haven't had if we look at the whole season, we haven't had a striker we've been able to rely on. Do you know what I mean? But he also started to get that when he got that first goal, and it sort of got us in there, and we're thinking, right, here we go. He's scored one straight up, not long after it looked in the same game and looked like, hold on a minute here. He started to get his mojo back, and then he scored a lovely wee goal in the Europe. Unfortunately, we didn't get the result, but it was a lovely finish. Shows you the confidence, and then boom, he gets a niggle. But the only good thing is, it seems like, as I say, it didn't seem like it was a muscle injury, as in off the ball, which is always worse. It seemed to be he got a wee bit of a knee into the leg, and that made a bit of annoyance on the night. And hopefully, it hasn't put him out for too much, and he can start tonight. But I suppose we'll not know until the team news, because even when Danny Rule gave us the last update, he was still saying it was too early to say. So we'll see. But Giga, I know it's a few, and Harvey saying there, Giga, he's actually away tomorrow, Baz. As we're going to say,
I thought it was today. Yeah.
But he will be. Well, no, that was just you probably hoping that he's hoping that.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Sterling actually plays ahead of him, to be honest.
Yeah. So let me see. Go back. There's Harvey says it's freezing outside the ground. I'm sure it is, buddy. Hope you've got your hat on you. You should get yourself a hands across the water jumper and hoodie ordered, mate, for those days when you're standing freezing outside Ibrox. Finley Curtis, Baz, there's a few guys asking about him. What are you thinking, likes of Cameron and stuff? What's your thoughts? Do you think he'll give these guys the nod, or do you think he'll go back to the usual ones he's sort of been sticking by?
There's a possibility maybe Finley Curtis might get a start. I'm not sure about Cameron. I don't think Cameron will get a start. I think Diamandi will play tonight. Cameron hasn't even been getting minutes off the bench, really. So I can't see him throwing him until a game against Hibs starting from the off. I would say that would be unlikely. I would imagine if he was going to get minutes tonight, he'd have probably got a few minutes on Thursday night, just to get him warmed up a wee bit. So I don't actually see that happening. Could be wrong. I've got the Giga thing wrong, so I could be wrong on the Cameron thing. But Curtis maybe. Gassama hasn't been playing well. He looks like he can't really be bothered at the minute sometimes. So he may rest him. I honestly don't know. Obviously Barami's out injured now, so Curtis might have half a chance of getting on. I hope he doesn't start Asgard, because he has been playing awful as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Curtis could be a shout.
He really has another one, Asgard. It's another one where quite a few teams down there were looking and sniffing about him. And he's playing in that Norwegian team. I think they were in the same group as Italy, and they got 8 wins out of 8. Now I know they've got Haaland and stuff, but at the end of the day, he's playing in that team. He's scoring goals for that team. Just can't bring that form at Ibrox, and he goes missing, doesn't he? But it's a strange one, because he's got the height and stuff. He looks like he's got that bit of flair about him, and you're thinking he should be able to make it. But for me, you're getting a lot of months on now, Baz. These guys, you can't keep making excuses for them. They're not offering enough.
Asgard's a bit like Rothwell. He's absolutely, he hasn't hit the ground running at all. He scored one really, really good goal, and I thought that was going to kick him on a wee bit, but there's a good one for Harvey. It can be very cold out there around Ibrox.
All the best, Harvey. Yeah. Enjoy the game, buddy. Thanks for watching, mate.
Yeah, 100%. It's a difficult one with him because he doesn't even offer you glimpses, and that's the problem. You don't see where, when we had Todd Cantwell, for instance, Todd Cantwell showed you flashes of brilliance at times, and who could play really well, get the ball moving quick and make things happen. Asgard doesn't do that. And do you know what annoys me the most? Is that we've downgraded from Hadji. Like, Asgard is not nowhere near as good as Giannis Hadji. And, a player who gave everything, threw his body on the line, defended, tried everything he could, had a good left foot. And Asgard's been a huge letdown, a huge downgrade. Same with Chimity with Dessers, a huge downgrade. Gassama, if you look at put Gassama towards Cherney, another downgrade. And that's why we're sitting where we are in the league title. Because of certain decisions like that these players are not as good as the players we had last season.
What's your thoughts, Baz? This is when Ibrox 1962 budget, Gassama needs to get his act together. What's your thoughts on him, Baz? Because he was one of the ones at the start. Look, really, I think everyone was saying that for me, he's the only Shane Knight we have in this team, and it seems like he's just not the same player. Like, he got took off in the European game, and he looked like he wasn't too happy about that either. It's strange because obviously he played with Sheffield Wednesday with Danny Rule, and done quite well for him. So that's one you would have thought would have really worked just by it was just by luck that the two of them got together again. But it just doesn't seem to be the same player. I don't know if it's because he's been playing on the right and then he's been playing on the left and he's been playing on the right, and that's the way it's been for him. But he just doesn't seem to be the player we've seen maybe those first couple of months.
He doesn't take players on like he used to. He used to go on the outside and actually use his pace and take players on and try and get the ball into the box. He doesn't do it. He constantly tries to cut inside every time. Like, I watched the match the other night, and if you look at Maguma's crying out for an outlet down the wing. Gassama completely is nowhere near it. He cuts inside. He comes completely out of position, and Maguma then can't find the right pass. Now, when Curtis come on, Curtis done 2 outside runs and got the ball into the box and was very dangerous. And Curtis hasn't got the same pace as Gassama. I find it very strange with Gassama. I don't know if it's an attitude thing. I don't know if it's what it is. Maybe that's the reason why he was playing in the championship. I don't know. But consistently, he hasn't been good. And I honestly think we could get better. Like, Ryan Kent, William got slated by the fans for inconsistency, but he's a downgrade on Ryan Kent.
Oh yeah, but then you're spending $7 million on him. But I know, but even towards the end, I know. But
that's my point. My point is we've downgraded in certain positions. We haven't improved.
Yeah. Well, this team across the city are terrible. Let's be honest; they are rank rotten now, and we've spent 30-odd million to be behind them in this league, which is actually incredible. If the money was spent wisely, at all, it should have been enough for us to be, winning this league pretty easily, in my opinion. Well, I wouldn't say that easy because Hearts have had such a good season, but unfortunately, it's been a lot of wastage. But if we can keep ourselves, as I say, if we can get a couple of wins here and keep ourselves into the fight, get into January and have a decent window early doors, it gives us a
The
good
team's
chance.
out. The team's out.
All right, well, Baz,
Uh,
yes, good, happy days. Like, give us let's get it here.
The snipers just give us a wee bit of a wee thing there. So I'll give you as a team. I'm sure most of you have maybe seen it. For those that haven't, Butland and Nets, Max Orange at right back, Sterling,
Okay.
Giga, and Fernandez as the centre backs, Magoma as the left back, Barn, Diamandi in centre midfield, Moore and Curtis have both started with Shermity up front. So that is Raskin been dropped, Tavernier's been dropped. The most notable players, Gassama has been dropped, Danilo. So that is a brave, bold selection tonight. I mean, dropping Raskin is a big move. To be dropping Nico Raskin for a match tonight is a big, big thing. Tavernier again. Although, to be honest with William, looking at Tavernier the last few weeks, he needs time on the bench. His legs look like he's really struggling out there. But Sterling in the centre back, it'll obviously play the back. It'll be the three centre halves with the two wing backs going up the wing. But yes, very notable absentees there, William, and Raskin is definitely the biggest one.
I'm going to set up for this because I was laid back there, sort of chilled out. Now I'm like, for me, it's a bit of that's I can't believe actually. I feel like going checking up myself and saying Baz must be winding me up here. But I wasn't. I'll be honest. Like I'll tell you the truth. I was not. I would say Tavernier, in my opinion, hasn't been playing that great. I'm not saying Max Aarons is much better, but he hasn't played that great. Maybe it's because he's been forced to play so many games, and that one I can understand. The Raskin one, I'm very surprised at, Baz.
That's a shock.
See it. I don't know if it was could you maybe find out later it was a wee niggle or he's had something but the fact that if he's on the bench,
he's on the bench, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a
weird one. Well, I'll give you the bench, William. It's Kelly, Tavernier, Enciala, Raskin, Cameron, Asgard, Dahl, our old friend Dahl's on the bench, Gassama, and Danilo. So if there's an injury in midfield, William, Raskin would need to be brave and fit still because he's the only recognised player that can play in the six. There's nobody else there who can play in the six that's in that team on the bench. But that's a. I tell you what, give Donny Roll his credit here. He's he's been bold and he's not picking the 11 that everybody should just say should play. He's taking a bit of a gamble tonight.
Well, Baz, to be fair to the guy, he was angry after that European. That's the first time I've seen him pretty pissed off. After that game, he was really you could see he was a bit of anger there, and he's obviously seeing as the manager certain players that aren't doing the job for him. And listen, if the likes of Raskin, who we know, I think we get frustrated with Raskin, Baz, because if anyone goes back to the start of this season, Baz waxes lyrical about Raskin, so do I. Barry wanted him captain from the very beginning. So we do give him a lot of credit, but I think it's more frustrating because we know he can play so much better. But listen, there's a World Cup coming up here. He needs to get his act together. He needs to be playing football. He needs to be playing well. So if this is a bit of a wake-up call for players like him, then fair enough, But yeah, I would say the managers went, right, I want to see more from other people. And they fair play to Curtis when he came on. You made a good comment there, boss. He came on, he whipped a couple of balls in. And I know that's not the biggest thing in the world, but at Rangers, we at the minute, we have to just take any positivity we can get. And it looks like he gives us a lot more. The likes of Dahl being on the bench ahead of Cameron or someone saying is a bit strange. If he's also on the head of Rothwell. Now, Rothwell, we spoke about him earlier. That just sort of proves it for me because he is fit and available. From what I've been hearing, and he obviously is just getting his move out and wants out, and that's fair enough. But the likes of young Cameron not getting on. But then again, we don't know. We don't see what's happening behind the scenes. But if it works today, and Maggie Moore and Cameron, and Curtis, put on a good performance, and we'll play well and we'll get a win. Maybe this could give it a wee fire, Baz, that we've been missing. If you get if those two young lads are chasing balls and putting Hibs under a bit of pressure and we get a good result tonight, that maybe give us all a bit of a lift.
Two young kids full of energy. That's what they are. I mean, they're both of them are very young players. They're very exciting players. And to be honest with you, I mean, I was actually hoping that the two of them would start. Maggie Moore and Curtis playing together from the get go. I think that's a fantastic. I think the Rangers fans will be very happy with that. Some will not be too happy that Raskin's not playing. Some will think maybe it's time that Raskin, if he wants to pull his socks up, maybe we sit on the bench. He'll maybe do that. I have to be honest with you. If Kieran Dowell come on ahead of Cameron tonight, I'd be raging too. I have to be honest with you because I think Cameron's more a future player for Rangers and Dowell's somebody we need to shift on. To be quite honest with you, the other big one, William, is that Miovski hasn't made the squad tonight, and that is a big blow to us because Shermity isn't playing well. He's not firing on all cylinders whatsoever, and the only other striker we have to come off the bench is now Danilo, who again is not on fire and isn't playing particularly well. So we're not privied up front at the minute, and losing the player who's actually started to score goals till injury is just Rangers all over, isn't it? You get somebody playing well. It's like Barami. Barami started playing well there, and now he's out again. It's just our luck. But look, the team sheet's out. We'll get behind the boys in 8 and hopefully they'll do a job. And Danny has got the formation right. And I think what's very important for Rangers tonight, William, is that Sterling's on the pitch. I think that's a big, big thing, that Sterling's going to be at the back, who has pace, has strength, knows the Scottish League. He's been there for a number of seasons now, and he's a big lump of a lad, isn't he, William? He gives big Sterling, doesn't shy out of a challenge, and he's technically very good as well. So I'm really pleased to see Sterling on the pitch. And Sterling can shift about. So if Aarons is making those runs very high, Sterling is more than ample to switch over to right back and to cover for him. So I think that's I like that.
But anyone that's watching, because quite a few, please like if you can and share that we stream on and stuff, because it really does help us out. Well, here's what I'm going to ask everyone in the comments and yourself, Baz. I'm going to throw it out there. Is Shermity going to wake up tonight and bang a goal in, or what do you think? If you're putting a bit of money on, would you go for Shermity to score? Do you think it'll be the usual not much happening and hooked off for Danilo at some stage?
I haven't seen anything from him to suggest that he can be successful tonight. I'm hoping he proves us wrong. But technically, William, I don't see where he can improve himself. I mean, at times when he gets the ball, he looks like Bambi on ice, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he's in full control of himself, never mind getting full control of the ball. I just don't know. The problem you have is we've spent a lot of money on this guy, and in order for us to get money back, he needs to play well. He needs to score goals, and I wouldn't put any money on it, I have to be honest with you. I hope after tonight and tomorrow we're looking at Shermity has maybe scored a brace tonight or anything, but I think I'm really clutching at straws here, aren't I? I'm digging deep into the ground to try and find something, but I just don't see it, William. I can't see it.
The difference was a bit like Bambi on ice, as you say, a bit like Dixie Dean for Leeds, but at least he looked like Bambi on ice, but he always ended up with those big gangly legs, somehow having the ball at his feet towards goal and banging one in. Unfortunately, Shermity doesn't have that about him at the minute.
Yeah. No, but my problem with Shermity was when he got the goal against Kilmarnock and he was giving it all this here to the fans. I'm thinking, no, don't do that. Because unless you can back that up the game after and the game after again, then you're putting yourself in the firing line with the supporters, aren't you? By the way, when the goal he scored against Kilmarnock, William, actually came off at the flag, because the goalkeeper probably should have saved it. It wasn't a brilliant goal. It was a goal, but he hasn't kicked on from that. He hasn't done anything since it. And I mean, if you look at us when we played the Emmons in the Cup, look at the chance he missed. 2 good chances. He just completely fluffed his lines. We all slagged Dessers off quite a majority of the support slide Dessers up, but the guy got 50 goals in 2 seasons. Chermity will not get 50 goals the rest of us. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
I'd take Big Dessers back tomorrow, and I was one of his critics. You know, it wasn't. I liked him, but he, you know, what I mean. But I always thought we could have maybe improved there a bit. But if I had knew what was going to happen to us afterwards, I'd have been begging him just to stay put. Sorry lads, just in from work, some team lineup. I know that's what we're just reacting to as well, mate. Yeah, the team lineup, it's a bit different. Just have to wait and see how it goes, you know. I'll be honest, Baz, like, because I know I'm after this show, I'm having to fly down to Hands Across the Water headquarters, down to where you are to watch a match together. But and it might sound a bit weird, but I'm a bit excited, like, you know, to see a bit of difference in the team. It's given me a wee, don't know if it's a wee fire in the belly to go, right, let's see how this goes, because I'm sick of seeing the same players letting us down all the time. And tonight I'm a wee bit like seeing Curtis starting, I'm seeing Mikey Moore starting, and I'm thinking, I like the look of that. You know, it gives me a wee bit of excitement. Don't get me wrong, it might not work out, but at least it gives you something. You're going, right, at least we're trying something different here.
Well, I think when you look what happened on Thursday night, he's looked at that team and went, right, I need to make changes here. And if it means taking out Raskin, Miovski isn't a decision he's had to make. Miovski, that decision's been made for him, obviously, because he's not injured, because he's injured. So, you know, he can't do anything about that. I don't think Chermity would have started tonight. If Miovski was fairly fit, Miovski would have started tonight up 100%. But that's not the case. Chermity gets another chance, another crack at it tonight under the Ibrox floodlights to try and make a name for himself. So it's all on the kid to try and do it. Whether he does or not, I don't know. Maggie Moore being in the pitch his form's been very, very good, especially in the league. He's been scoring goals. He's been getting himself in the right position. So I'm excited to see Maggie Moore tonight, and I think he'll get chances. Curtis will get chances as well. I mean, he likes to take a pop from outside the box. So there is potential there if Chermity isn't playing well, that there's other players there, William, that can get you the goal threat. I wouldn't say we've got goal threat too much apart from maybe there. I wouldn't say Barron and Diamandi are real goal threat players. Maggie Moore and Curtis, I think we're going to have to rely on those two guys producing a wee bit of magic and trying to get us the goals that we really need.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, all we want from Diamandi and Connor Barron is work your butt off, get the ball when it's loose, win the second balls, and pass it to your creative players. That's all we want them to do. So if they're not a goal threat, that's fine by me. Pass the ball onwards to your goal threats. Diamandi's another one, Baz, though. Like, and you know, he's on the pitch and over top. He's another one that needs to step up his game. He annoys me at times, like, and he's another one that has found out. You know, he thought he was a banker in that Ivory Coast team. Even the manager, Danny Rule, thought he was. He was like, we're going to lose Dio as well. You know, to the African World Cup or the African thing. So they knew, I assumed that's where he was going. I'm sure they've spoke about it. So that's maybe another wake up call to him as well. And hopefully, you know, the likes of, you know, it's you two ways of doing it. You can cry about it and sulk, or you can put it on the pitch tonight and go, fuck God, I don't want to miss out in another tournament. I'm going to put it on, you know. And hopefully that gives him the wake up call. So I'm expecting something from him tonight. He needs to start up in his game.
Diamandi's falters till to save at times. There's times Diamandi, you know, is very good on the turn. He reminds me a wee bit of Glenn Kamara slightly, but he used to be able to do good, you know, on the ball turn. And there's other times Diamandi looks like it's his first ever game and he's never played before. He's a very frustrating player. And, you know, and the Ivory Coast has noticed that. They've seen that themselves, and he's lost his place in that tournament. Now, for us, it could be a blessing in disguise if he does, if this is something that picks Diamandi up and makes him play better, then that's a plus for us because he won't be away, and we've got a player still at Ibrox who can give us something. But Dio really does need to pick his game up. He really needs tonight. He needs to really get on the ball. He needs to make things happen. He needs to get into good tackles. He needs to show the Ibrox support that he deserves a spot in that team and show Danny role, because a lot of these players, William, are all playing for their futures. You know, it's dress rehearsal for a lot of these players, and Danny Roll's sitting back and watching, who deserves to come with me in this journey and who deserves to be sent out the door. And there's one or two players, William, that are even playing tonight that are on that scrutiny and may not be with that Rangers next season if they don't pick up the pace and don't pick up their performance levels. Because at the minute, they're not giving us 110%. So Diomande is in that bracket, unfortunately. But it's up to him. I think Diomande would be great in a French league or a different type of league. I think a wee bit slower paced. I think Diomande would be very good. I think he struggles with the Scottish players constantly niggling at him and constantly, every time he gets the ball, they're pressurising him. I think he slightly struggles with that. But, at the end of the day, it's up to Diomande and how he responds, not getting into that every coach squad. And hopefully it benefits us over the winter, the winter games.
Yeah, well, let us know, everyone that's watching. We'll put in your thoughts and your score predictions for tonight, and that's what I'm saying. I've just got that wee fire in my belly now, and I wasn't expecting to, because obviously when the Rangers play, you're always, when you want us to do well, but you're sort of just going, we're going to see this, these same ones, and we're going to see the same young ones in the bench. But tonight, it's just give me a wee injection there to go, here we go. Let's get down, stick a game on, and hopefully it all works out. And we need to get torn in, as people say in the comments. I don't want just no fear, no respect. Just get torn in about them, get a good result, and that gives us so much hope. If we can, if you play well, you get a good result. It gets it. Ibrox will lift. The guys are desperate to get excited about something at Ibrox. And the fans are. And what a lift that would give you going into the weekend against Hearts. If you go out there, you play the same slap, same nonsense, same slow paced football. Everyone's, even if you get a win, which we want to win no matter what, but it doesn't give people that oomph for Sunday. They're like, fuck, we have to go to Hearts. But if you go in, the young lads put in a performance, and everything goes well for us, it could really, hopefully, give us that big bounce that we've been missing.
See the three players, William, that has excited me in the team sheet tonight is Sterling, Curtis, and Moore. They're the three that I see in that team sheet where I go, do you know what? They're the three that I think that is going to improve the play tonight. Is going to be very, very important players tonight in terms of Curtis and Moore, that attacking threat, that youthful pace that they have, that youthful energy that they have, and Sterling actually being a proper defender, which we haven't had in ages, a proper good defender. And Sterling could be, William, this could be perfect timing for us to play Hibs tonight, to go away to Tynecastle. We've got tough games over the Christmas period. We've got them straight after January. Sterling could become a very, very important player for us because at the back is where we've been weak. At the back is where we've really faltered till the save. And I'm hoping he stays fit, touch wood, that he stays fit, because I think he's going to be massively important for us coming in these next games coming up.
Yeah, no, definitely. As I say, it's just one of those ones. It's so important. And I was thinking about it today because where the games just come thick and fast, and you're watching them and you're hoping you get wins, obviously. But I was just sitting today and I was like, that's when I was thinking. I was like, geez, we've got the two teams from Edinburgh here in a week just before Christmas, and I'm like, fucking two big games, and I'm looking at the table. I'm looking at the Emmons losing the League Cup. Your man Nancy not being too good. Obviously, it hasn't worked out so far for him. It looks like a second coming of Russell Martin there. I'm looking at, and I'm thinking, if we can put a bit of pressure on here, get ourselves to January, get early signings. If we can tick the boxes until then, get the early signings in. You're thinking this could be a big opportunity, but the other part of me, the nervousness is if it all goes south in a couple of games before Christmas, before you get to January, it could be too little, too late. So it's definitely big.
Well, the reality is they're not the problem. They're not a good side. We know this. They're not a good team. They've got a lunatic of a manager in who is worse than Martin, and I never thought I could see one worse He looks like a complete nut job. You've got Hearts, William. We're chasing Hearts. That's who we're chasing. Demons across the city are awful. They're not playing well. They're in complete free fall. Hearts are the team in form. Hearts are the team that you have to catch. They're leading the way. They're the ones sitting top of the pile. They've got the points in the bag. They're playing good football, home and away. They've beat us. They've beat Demons twice. So they're the team we have to catch if we want to win the title. It won't be Demons across the city, William. It's going to be Hearts. They're the team that we have to topple. So huge games coming up here over Christmas. Huge games. I'm just hoping we can get into January, get at least 3 or 4 reinforcements in early in the window, and that can kick us on the race this season. That's the best we can hope for.
Yeah, it needs, and here, look, it's a big chance for the owners as well. Like, you know, because sometimes you have to gamble, Baz. You know what I mean? And if we're still in with a good shout, you know, I think if Rangers win the way the coefficient is, if Rangers win the league this year, if they did go on to win the league, your Rangers are straight into the Champions League. There's no rounds to play for Rangers as far as I'm aware. I'm near sure I'm right saying it. It's guaranteed Champions League football 100% for next season. And now we know where the coefficient works. After that's going to be hard, but it's worth taking the gamble. But this is why these games tonight are so important, you know, to get into January.
Well, yeah, Alexander's played both a game in hand, but it's not against Demons across the city. It's against Hearts, isn't it? Isn't that right? Our game in hand is over Hearts. I think we've played the same as Demons. We'll actually played a game more than Demons across the city.
But that's what we want. Tonight. We just want to get. It doesn't matter how many get. See if we're winning, and you know, I mean, Demons are having to look then and go to Dundee United here, which is going to be another tough game for them across the city.
Huge,
especially after, you know what I mean. So this is where Rangers need to just go out and see if Rangers get it. If we get a result tonight, you get a result away to Hearts. I'm telling you, everyone's not openly said, but the other teams in Scotland and other sports are starting to go. These fuckers are starting to flip and get things going. You know, this is why it's important because it's the mind games. You know,
like as I said to you earlier, it's not Demons across the city. They're not top of the league. Hearts are. They're the team with the most points. You want to win the title, you gotta at this moment in time, you gotta get ahead of Hearts. That's how you win the title this season. You've gotta dismount. You've gotta take Hearts off the top of the table. You know, it's the only and the way it is sitting on the table now. That's the only way we can win that title is by taking Hearts off it. It's the only way at this minute in time.
Yep. Well, look, that's sort of us coming to the end. I'm buzzing now. I'm just going to tell you that, like. And the ones that listening on Patreon, obviously, because we go on the Heart and Hand Patreon after this, so David Egger sticks a show up. So we could sound a bit silly here afterwards, Baz, because we're hoping for the best. And by the time the show comes out, it could be, it maybe hasn't went all well for us. But listen, before kickoff, seeing the team happy with it, to be fair, listen, we know there's positions in there that we want to change. Would you want Fernandez and Ziggy even near the centre-back pairing? Probably not. But unfortunately, the situation is that that's all we have until we get to January. That's why we just hope these boys can put the performances in until we get the replacements in. But we'll see how we get on. Listen, massive night. Anyone that's watching us that's from is over at Ibrox, I hope you enjoy yourselves. I hope you have a good result. Anyone watching the TV and stuff, like me and Baz will be doing, I go down to Hands Across the Water headquarters down there to meet Baz, and very soon, straight after this. And with the wee shed, hopefully the wee shed's bouncing tonight, Baz, because we need it, don't we? We just need a lift. Good win tonight, and everyone's buzzing for the weekend to come.
That's it. We get the win tonight, and we look forward to the next game against Hearts. That's what tonight is. Win. We have to win. That's the main thing. But it's 2-1, 1-0, 3-0, 4-0. Nice to get a bit of a performance, as I said earlier in the show, to go and play Hearts with a wee bit of confidence. I think that's a big thing for us. We're lacking slightly on that, but we got to win. That's it. Win. You know, that's as simple as that. You got to win tonight.
Win at all costs. So listen, everyone, hope you enjoy the game. There'll be plenty of different podcasts on after as well, but you know, after the show and stuff, me and Basil will not be on after. But listen, hopefully we're celebrating, me and Baz together. Hopefully you guys and gals that have been watching us are celebrating as well if we get a good victory at Ibrox tonight. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch us and get involved in the comments and stuff. We love having chats with you, and it makes our wee Monday, doesn't it, Baz? Like, even working all, when we do our Monday, usually Monday blues, then we come on here and just get the let off steam for an hour and talk to our mates. It's good crack, isn't it?
That's it. We're all Rangers men together. We all have the same ambitions. We all have the same goals in life, and we want to see Rangers win titles. So we'll not disagree on that whatsoever, because that's the aim of the game. And as Barry Ferguson always says, it's the bread and butter, and that's where you've got to make your mark. Is in the league. The league is winning that SPFL title. So compared to where it was at the start of the season and where we are right now, it is certainly not as bad as it was. So there's definitely been improvements. So hopefully tonight's another one.
Hopefully so. Well, thanks again, everyone. As I say, me and Baz will be with you on Monday again, and next Monday. Hopefully we'll be two happy birds here, and the show will be buzzing if all goes to plan. But even if it doesn't, we'll still be here to chat with you anyway, and we'll do our usual therapy session. But hopefully we get these 2 wins, and we're looking forward to a cracking Christmas. We'll speak to you again soon. Thanks again for everything you do for us. Bye, guys.